Well, welcome back to Uncle Skinny Reviews. I am Uncle Skinny, and you're watching Uncle Skinny Reviews. It's the YouTube review show where we review the movies, the latest and greatest, and not just the latest and greatest, but any movie that's ever been made, which is pretty interesting. We should get the Guinness Book of World Guinness Book of Records down here to check it out. It could be, just saying. So if anybody out there knows any of those people, I am interested, and you can email me. I'll send you, we'll get the email at the bottom of the screen for you to do that. Well, welcome to Uncle Skinny Reviews. First off, I want to thank you guys for your warm reception of the first two videos that we put up. People are loving it. My family loves it, and they tell me that I've got to keep doing more. And that's a pleasure for me to do that. And to those guys out there who hit the dislike button and left mean, nasty comments saying that I look like a lesbian librarian, go to hell. Go fuck yourself. Okay? You're not going to bring me down. This is my one true passion in life. It's the only thing I care about is movies and reviewing them. And you're not going to rain on my parade. And as long as we're doing housekeeping notes, okay? I don't know if you saw the first two videos. I had a whole credit sequence at the end. I had a whole crew. And they're gone. Something about the working conditions being poor. And something about black mold being in this basement. I don't know. And they can get fucked too. The Platform. The Platform is a 2020 movie, comes from the country of Spain, directed by Galder Gustavo Urrutia. And you can correct me on the pronunciation of that name if you'd like, and I could be wrong. The Platform follows Coring, our main protagonist here, who wakes up in a vertical prison institution, a quote-unquote vertical self-management system in which 2 prisoners per floor are stacked on top of each other. And in the center of these floors is a gap for a descending platform, which goes from the first floor all the way down to its 300 plus floors. On that platform is an elaborate feast of some of the finest foods you could ever dream of. And this is how the prisoners eat. The conflict arises as you begin to realize that those at the top floor get all the food, while those at the bottom are left to starve. Coring starts learning the ropes on survival in this prison institution. We learn that he, first of all, volunteers to go into this institution as he's promised a degree. He wants to quit smoking. He wants to read his book, which he brought with him, Don Quixote. He learns that everybody can bring an item. And that item can be whatever you want. That means weapons, dogs. It could mean anything. And that's where things start getting kind of interesting and a little tricky. Coring also learns a very crucial key to this system, that every month you're going to change your floor. I believe that when we first meet Coring, he's on level like 48, and then he goes to like 72, and then level 6, and then level 200 and something, whatever the fuck. And each floor, as you work its way down from the top to bottom, has its own set of challenges. Those at the top floor are set to go insane because they're not waiting for anything. The food's there. They already have it. They have all that they could want. Where those at the bottom, obviously, are starving to death because those from the top floors above them eat all the food. Coring begins to see, as he spends more time here, some brutal, animalistic behavior as people are fighting to remain sane and just try to survive. We're seeing people like piss and shit all over this platform with the food on it. People are just really not treating each other nicely. We're talking about cannibalism being commonplace, murder and rape. Anything goes in this institution. It is a self-management system, and so there are no guards. There's nobody to keep things in line. It's anything goes. As Coring begins to experience each different level and get a feel for this system and how to live inside it, he is inspired to rebel against it, or at least to send those in charge a message that they will not be brought to such animal behavior. They can remain and have their dignity intact. He also learns that on the tray of food, there was enough calories on that platform for everybody to adequately survive from the first level all the way down to the bottom. And so he begins his mission by jumping on the platform and rationing out the food and making sure that everybody takes just what they need so that everybody gets fed. And it sends a message to the institution that we still got this. You can't take our souls away. That being said, there are some interesting ways that this film goes about that. I mean, that's a great message. However, it's interesting to note that Coring takes this position of rationing out the food with force and violence. He does attempt to start a dialogue with people on each floor about his mission and how he seeks to, make sure that everybody's fed. But people don't want to listen, and he has his friend and himself beat the shit out of anybody who tries to touch the food. It is interesting that this movie doesn't shy away from that violence in its attempt to ring out a very true and powerful message. And on that matter of fact, this is a very violent movie. It's very gritty. If you're squeamish, I would not recommend it. It's not the most violent in the world, but there are some pretty brutal scenes in it. Thematically, this movie is very much about capitalism, and it has a very anti-capitalist stance. And the sort of demonstration of this platform with the food on it can be very well compared to, say, trickle-down economics. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of religious themes and symbology here. Coring kind of begins to take on this messiah-like role, kind of against his will. The other people kind of put it on him. And even Don Quixote, the book he's reading, there's a lot of interesting things strewn in that as well. So the platform kind of becomes, if you've seen the Cube series, it's very similar. And if you like the Cube series, you're going to like the platform. The platform, though, is like if you took the Cube series and attempted to give it a lot of substance. Clearly, Galder has something to say. There's a message that's at the forefront of this movie. But whether or not that message gets through as eloquently as we'd like is kind of where this movie kind of takes a turn. It is incredibly entertaining. The tension is built well. The script is clever in doing that. I was on the edge of my seat watching it, but as things begin to unfold, we start to see it kind of get stale. I'm not going to give spoilers on the show, but I would say one of my main criticisms of this movie is that the ending is very unsatisfactory. All those themes, the religious themes, the anti-capitalist themes, the Don Quixote, everything this movie tried to build up in its plot, I was a little disappointed that this movie quite literally walks away from it all at the end. I had a lot of questions that weren't answered, and I thought for a movie that was as clever as it kind of purported itself to be, it didn't really touch upon any of these things that I would have assumed they would touch upon. And instead, again, the movie just kind of walks away from its own self with this, we gave them a message, the message was sent, and now you, the viewers, also receive that message about how shitty capitalism is. And if you want to really make your message stick in a movie, you gotta stick and land the ending. Come on, guys. So that was my main criticism of the platform. At the end of the day, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's very entertaining. It's very watchable. If you are squeamish, maybe don't watch it. But again, I think the violence can be stomached. It's not the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. And if you're not afraid of that, I would say check it out. It's some nice eye candy, and it's compelling to a degree. But again, I just wish that things were tied together with a little bit more finesse. But, a promising attempt from Galder, and I think it's really awesome that the country of Spain is coming out with some great hits that are being featured on Netflix. This movie is available to stream on Netflix again. So that's Uncle Skinny. The platform, we're giving it a 6 out of 10. Check it out. Like the video. Share it with your friends and family. And subscribe if you like. And more importantly, give me movie recommendations. That's been Uncle Skinny's review, and I hope you enjoy. I guess I gotta end this. I don't have a team. So I guess we'll edit this in post. I need to get a crew, man.